Good evening, guys. How you all doing out there? So I've got a lot of things to try to catch up with this evening. Got home much later than I thought, and as you can probably tell from the background, I've got a chunk of wood has arrived. Well, when I say arrived, I collected a load of wood, and so I'm estimating probably 6 to 8 tons. Some really nice, interesting pieces as well, nice sizes. So a lot of wood to prep now, ready for the winter or this coming season. Good mixture of hard and soft wood, and loads of questions about saws, particularly some of the project saws. So I'm going to go through a couple of the questions really quick, and then I've got a really interesting spread of saws which I'm going to just quickly demonstrate because there was a number of questions about it. So, okay, so some of these are real pulls as well for me to let go. Number of questions about a couple of the Clinton project saws, and my apologies, I haven't photographed them yet, and I'm a huge Clinton fan. I am. This girl then, from this guy's collection. This is a D55 Super, and nothing's come off this saw. Nothing. As you see it is as it's arrived. So from 1959, the original D55, this is the D55 Super, a couple of tiny changes, same displacement, so just under 74 cc's, and a few people messaged, does the saw run? Yes, so let me just show you. Has a obviously non-AV, gravity feed, oil and petrol, both correct caps, little manual plunger for the oiler, little tap on the fuel tank, so we'll open up the fuel tap, and has the shield for the spark plug on top, which is really lovely to have. Has this old, almost like the old gramophone speaker, trumpet speaker, the trumpet exhaust. Love those exhausts. The only thing about them is if you have old saws like this and you store them, you have to block that off, otherwise they just act as a funnel putting rubbish into the cylinder. It's a nightmare. Okay, choke is up, kill switch, loud engines but beautiful. So just simply gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous running engine. The carburetor nuts and bolts have all got the original overspray on in this gorgeous yellow enamel. It's got the correct, looks like this concertina, this corrugated pipe which goes up to the air filter, and just an absolute thing of beauty. Pull start cover's not been off it, exactly as you see it. Starts, runs, outboard chain tensioner present, this beautiful original guide bar with the multi-drilled fitment, excellent tip symmetry for the stellite tip or the hard nose tip, solid nose, just an absolute thing of beauty. So yeah, that's the D55. Hope that answers the questions. Yes, she runs, she looks undamaged, correct fuel caps, kill switch is working, no brakes to the back, carburetor's not been off it, and so although this version is, you know, like these all are, they're gravity assisted, this is actually this carburetor has the stacked pump chamber as well, so metering chamber and pump chamber, so it is pumped as well, and she's got the felling spike. So that's the beautiful Clinton D55 Super 1959, and the D55 Super from 1960. Oh, what a thing of beauty that is. several people messaged about the CS-60S, which recently came back, and I found a period Samura Japanese bar for her, same size chain, excellent tooth life, presumably needs sharpening. And how does it run? Well, interestingly, I know a Echo reseller, and the HT lead on this one initially at the end was, getting worn, as the gentleman pointed out. It was getting worn. Interestingly, made no difference to the running whatsoever. In fact, when it's got a connection and it sparks. The kill switch had some damage, so I have found, some of them you'll see with a white momentary kill switch. I found another white momentary kill switch, correct diameter, but not a genuine Echo. And carburetor presumably could still do with being serviced and cleaned, but how does she run? Well, so then these girls then, 48, 34, late 60s from 60, interesting actually, again, some really interesting dates online. We'll go with roughly 66, 67, and then had a real run as well for some 15 odd years, production years. And so this girl has both the manual oiler and the automatic oiler, and other than that was exactly as is. Just an absolute thing of beauty. And doing the HT lead, I've naturally given her a cursory clean as the panels have come off. I've given her a clean, but the carburetor could still be looked at. The clutch hasn't been taken off. The exhaust is not taken off, and this is just as you see her. But in terms of running, she's just an amazing. So in fact, this saw only has, as far as I know then, one broken item, which is which is not unusual on them either, actually, interestingly. So the throttle lock uses a little depressed aluminium thumb lever or thumb depression or knob at the top. That pushes down on a spring steel. I think, what did Echo call them? I think they call them a leaf spring. Just a strip of spring steel, and then as you push it down and release the trigger, just a little lip on the trigger catches the end of the leaf spring, and that tends to either wear off or break. So I presume it might be that, unless part of the aluminium which actually sits on the leaf spring is worn away, but doesn't affect it, doesn't seem to affect it starting. You can see the guide by here, guys. Look at this beautiful oiling on the bar, completely symmetrical both sides, absolutely stunning. So that's the CS-60S. Then does she run well? Yeah, beautiful, lovely rock steady idle, straight to a up to peak RPM, straight back a rock steady idle again, not taking a single disc. Tooth life is excellent, looks like it should definitely be sharpened if you're going to use it, but what a thing of absolute beauty. So that's the CS-60S. Let's put this girl safe. Okay. Put that there. Okay, so this is an interesting saw then. Not one I'd ordinarily buy, but came in with the batch, and so interesting this. I'm not a huge fan of Chinese chainsaws. I'm just not. So, and you'll see them in a huge number of different names because, you know, they're all the same chassis components as far as you can see, and they just get rebadged. But this one was slightly unusual from this gentleman insofar that it had fantastic compression. So on that basis, yeah, I decided to buy it anyway, and it had a few unusual things which I hadn't seen on some of the Chinese saws before. So where to start with that? Yeah, so okay, firstly, massive compression, fantastic. Okay, they're full AV. Really unusually, and I wasn't sure about this on some of the other Chinese ones I'd seen previously, it has an outboard chain tensioner. So just like you get on some of the other stools, you know, the Huskies and the Steel. So you can adjust the chain tensioner from the outside without struggling inside. I really like that. Chain brake is working, oiler's working. I didn't realise that they had fully adjustable chain oilers. So it has a fully adjustable chain oiler, runs a rim sprocket with a clutch arrangement. And this girl is running a, is that an 18 or a 20? I think it's a 20. 20-inch Oregon. Yep. 20-inch Oregon 325 pitch guide bar in what looks excellent condition. It's running an Oregon 21 chain, and if I'd have had a 21 chain, I've only got 22s, so I've got the wrong gauge in 325, too wide for this. So that's a 1.5mm gauge. Definitely needs sharpening, but it's got fantastic tooth life. Right, let me show this girl running. So hopefully this might be an amazing project saw for somebody. I wasn't sure if he said it leaked oil or... can't remember. You see this girl running. Will I show this girl running? Maybe. Starter pulls as well, maybe. So seems to run really well. So although I'm not a fan of a lot of Chinese tech or Chinese engineering that becomes bombarded in the UK with so much rubbish, you know, I am a huge fan of engineering which works well, and so I'd have to say this saw has got great compression and starts well, definitely pops off the top well. So I know the engine feels fresh, and yep, AV mounts feel tight, has a very good named guide bar, excellent chain brake is working. So this might be a really nice starting point. I'm not sure if it's oiling or not. Is it oiling? Not sure. Haven't had a chance to check any of those things. So no brakes anywhere around the saw by the look of it. Looks really good. Just pulling it in, the dogs didn't seem to engage, but so that's something to check then as well. Maybe they just so that might be an amazing project saw or part saw. So she's going to go to sell exactly what she came in for. And but I've got to say, so this one is the True Shopping brand one. I've seen that before, and that the last one I had of that was maybe a year and a half ago, and that ran strangely, that ran really well as well. So if I find a 21 LPX chain in the meantime, I might put a chain on, and we'll perhaps cut some discs tomorrow with her but I'm pretty sure I've only got 1.6mm gauge. Right then, let's put this girl here. Perfect. Okay then, we've got some discs to cut. Right, I've got a very interesting spreader source to show you, which, okay, it'll make sense when I explain. Alright, so loads of questions about the partner, the S65. So genuinely, and it's still tonight exactly the same. I've never taken a single disc with this saw. So this girl then runs a 48-36, so 48mm piston, 36mm stroke. Exactly the same, incidentally, as the Husky 65. Predates this, you know, by, this is so the original A65, so predates this by, you know, 13 years, something like that. Beautiful engine, class semi-pro. I would say by today's standards, I'd say it was more of a professional saw, but hey, okay. This is classed as an semi-pro 1980 65 cc's. So 22-inch bar at the top end, brand new Oregon full chisel chain. Make sure that's off. Really, really good compression engine. All the AV mounts are tight. How does she run? Choke off. So that's the first one we've got to test then. So 1980, 65 cc's, the S65, gorgeous. Right, so the next saw is interesting as well. West German, solo. Actually, not West German at this stage, so this is 1991 this was introduced. These came in two guises, so any of you eagle-eyed people, it's got a very interesting exhaust arrangement. Very similar setup to some of the later Huskies, where they taper at the front with the screws down, something like the 550 and 560. So this girl then is the 521 SP. So they did the 521 and a 521 SP, which was, so the 521 was classed as a pro. The 521 SP was, did they say they'd consumerized it? Only a couple of tiny changes then. So the 521 both launched in 1991. So interesting then. Exactly 14 cc's less than this one, so 65 cc's. This one's 51 cc's, and 11 years later. So launched in 91, and this version makes 3.6 horsepower as opposed to 4 horsepower. Fully adjustable chain oiler, chain catcher, excellent AV, all composite all the way around. Beautiful, beautiful running engine. And this girl's running an 18-inch, I think that's an 18-inch 325 pitch. I think the chain's sharp, so we're going to run this girl as well and take a disc. And I think the only difference between the 521 when they launched and the 521 SP is they really tiny differences. Tiny bit of port tuning, and they changed the clutch from a three-pronged clutch to 2. There you go. And then the other one produces 4 horsepower. This does 3.6. Running wise, this girl is textbook perfect. Just impeccable. Just impeccable running, just doesn't get used. And does that need to be tightened a tiny bit? No, that'd be okay. So that's the second one we're going to use. So 11 years newer than the partner, 14 cc's smaller, and then the last one is the gorgeous Alpina P370 garden saw. And Had multiple people ask about these. I love the Alpina's history is amazing. You start back to the company is 1960. Their first chainsaw, the A70, that was their first commercial saw in 68. Although strangely those dates as well, but Alpina have altered that themselves. Okay, so the A70, 1968. This girl then, the P370, and this girl's 2002. So this is 11 years later than the other saw. So we've got 1980, 1991, 2002, and this girl is 14cc smaller again. So we've gone 65, 51, 37, and interesting, they've got a plunger on top for priming initially, as well as the choke, and so you get really consistent running. Running a 13-inch bar, 3/8 low profile. It's a steel chain, which I think is sharp. Excellent oiler. So because you've actually got a primer and a choke, we tend to start it instantly. So just impeccable running. So again, it's just not used. Has had a new pickup in the tank and a new fuel line. Strange, I put had new correct sized lines for the Alpina, and new pull cord, new plug. Other than this, it hasn't needed anything. It's just, there you go, just hanging on the shelf. So we're going to do some cuts with this girl as well. Right then, it'll be interesting. So from the small garden saw from 2002, and we'll take a few bigger discs down to the 1980s S65. Right, let's move. Oh, they're gorgeous. I hope that answers any more questions about the D65 Super, 55 Super, sorry. Let me know. Yes, she runs. Yes, she's complete. She looks undamaged and just a thing of beauty. Right. Okay. Right, guys, what should we start a couple of discs with? Right, this piece of wood. We tried to put it on the scales. It weighed over 100 kilos. So I'll take a couple of discs of this with the 65. We'll start with the 65 and work our way down. Excited because I love using the partners, but I've never used this saw. Okay. Okay guys, so damn, that wood's heavy and so knotty as well. Just flawless, straight out of the cut, straight back to a rock steady idle. Beautiful clean cutting. So that's the S65. So all the guys that messaged, I hope that answers some questions. Chain brake is excellent. In terms of long-term running, she just not the type of usage she gets with me. Exactly as you see, it's just not a disassembled engine, and this is exactly as she is, just hung up on display like this. I think the only thing that would be nice to have on this, I buried that sword sawdust. I think the only thing that would be nice to have on this is the extended felling dog, so she's not slightly tip heavy when you place her on the ground. Other than that, she's just a thing of beauty. So that's the right then. So then, 11 years on, gives up a little bit of power, gives up 14 cc's. Actually, we'll see if we can just take the end disc off with the same piece, and we'll move on to something slightly smaller. This will be fun. The Solos are such a beautiful engine. Obviously the fall of the wall was in November 89, so then in 1991 this is now German. Okay. So again, strangely, it doesn't feel too different either to the, just a tiny bit of the top end, a bit less power. And what I meant to say earlier, so all these saws being set with a digital tack, with my my Echo tack from America, and interestingly on things like the Alpina, we'll come on to that one then, that's tick over is from 2800 to 3000, then topping off it I think 12 to 12.2, and she ticks over at 29 and then is peaking at 12.1. Okay, actually we might take we'll start with a tiny bigger disc with the Alpina, and then really just great for some smaller garden work, but amazing running saw as well. So let's put that drawer safe. Okay, that's the gorgeous Solo, the 651. What amazing home saw that is, semi-pro. Okay then. And right, what should we cut that, guys? Let's cut. Okay. Actually, that's a nice size. So we've got a 13-inch bar, we've got 10-inch. Make sure we're in shot, actually. Not sure if we are, hopefully we are. Oh yeah, we're all good. Hey guys, so there you go, just flawless running. Really interesting actually. Just goes to show, doesn't it, on certain sizes of wood, this curve, this profile on the smaller chains, if they're sharp and in good condition, they just perform so well. Head speed on this offload is over 12,000 RPM, and just wow, 6-8 inch logs, just fantastic. Just fantastic. So that's the Alpina P370. Right, perhaps we'll just find one more chunky piece to put something bigger onto the S65, and there's nothing like the 3.5 foot ones I saw in 880 going through the other day, but that's they're a special machine. Okay, let's grab one bigger piece. Right. Okay, well that's sappy. Right. Right, what's that, about 14 inches, something like that? Okay. Take a knot there, I might run it through with the 651 straight afterwards. Aye. Might have been a slightly unfair piece of wood actually. Came out of cross sections, so cross cutting through the branch opposite and then another branch this side, but beautiful running engine. Might be a tiny bit more actually when I set up on the tacho. There might be another 500 at the top end, but just impeccable running. Okay guys, so there they are then. That's the 65cc 1980s S65. Just always fantastic. So running 22-inch bar, that's at the top end for this saw, so that's the longest they suggest for this engine. 48, 36 more stroke, just like the 65 Husky, and but you know, with the benefit of full AV and a chain brake. Then you've got the beautiful German Oh, the 651 SP, the semi-pro. Addictive, isn't it? Let me just get a couple of pieces of wood for this one, just to make it fair. Okay, let's cut. Oh, good grief. Okay. Okay. Hang on, guys. Okay. All right. Ow. Right. Take a couple more discs with the 651. Damn, this wood's naughty. There she is, just again, impeccable running after heavy, fully burying the blade, coming out rock steady idle again. Alright guys, thanks for watching. So, great time to get the wood stores ready, isn't it? Absolutely amazing time to get the wood stores ready. I've left it a touch late, but hopefully the next couple of weeks now I'll start working through, and I'm going to bring out one of my very early British saws, which I have a brand new 3/4 inch chain for, and we're going to see if we can get that set up in cutting. Guys, bye for now.